Welcome to the Stop Dieting podcast, hosted by best-selling, award-winning author and renowned weight loss expert, David Medansky. If you struggle to lose weight or you've lost weight and gained it back, you'll want to listen each week. Each week, you will learn tips for healthy weight loss without going on a diet, without having to follow an exercise program, without counting calories, or having to purchase special meals or products. The Stop Dieting podcast is more than just about healthy and sustainable weight loss. You will also learn how you can have more energy, feel better, get rid of brain fog, and improve your overall health. Stay tuned for another informative and insightful episode. And if you like what you hear, be sure to subscribe and share this with your friends.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Stop Dieting. This is David Medansky, and today we have a very special guest. His name is Michal
Stawicki.
Thank you. His nickname is Mr. Consistency, which is a lot easier to pronounce. He is a best-selling author in personal development field and a business coach. He is obsessed with changing the world through daily habits, starting with his own habits and his world. In the last decade, he's published 19 books. He's sold over 80,000 copies of them, and he's created dozens of new good habits, coached over 100 people in developing new habits, and started a book advertising business as he quit his day job as a database administrator. Now he preaches and practices consistent daily action. He believes this is the means to achieve success in any area of life, from parenting to business. Welcome.
Hi, David. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being a guest. So tell us, you had your own weight loss journey, correct?
Yes. I didn't have to lose much, but I was override those several, or even more than several, maybe 10 pounds. And I actually injured my back when I was 16, jumping into the pool. So every time I'm gaining those additional pounds, I can feel that immediately. So I needed to shed off those pounds.
And how did you do that?
Yeah, I did that by adopting series of different daily habits which are related to my physicality. So what I eat, how I move around, and so on. So I will give you few very tiny examples. For example, because when I Stop Dieting is a great name, because this is exactly what I wanted to achieve. I wanted to change my lifestyle, not to being diet on some specific type of foods. So one tiny habit, I examined my days and I was like, what can I do? Something very small which will burn a few more calories. So I decided to, instead of climbing the stairs, to run the stairs. Yeah, so such a little difference. And it was very easy to put into action, because I was having a lot of stairs on my commute to my day job, like dozen sets or something like this. So I had a lot of triggers, and the more often we practice, the easier it is to develop a habit. And I remember after like a year or so, I'm in my day job going to the second floor, and I felt uneasy. And what's going on? But in front of me was a guy who was just climbing the stairs slowly. So I wasn't running, so I felt something is off, because this new habit was so established into my life. Now I have this home, and we have one level up. We have a bedroom upstairs. I'm always running those 16 or 17 steps up and down. Another habit: eating one raw vegetable or fruit a day. Like, something positive to focus on. Not, okay, I will cut on sweets, I will cut on this or that, but okay, I will eat raw vegetable, at least one. Usually it's more. But that's very small things which can make a huge difference when they are accumulated over time.
Oh, exactly. And I agree with you. That's what I advocate for people, is to focus on positive things that you enjoy to eat rather than things that you want to avoid. Because as you know, what we focus on expands. So when people start
Amen.
focusing on what they're not supposed to eat, they start wanting to eat that more, as opposed to focusing on what we should eat. Then we start focusing on that more. So I agree with you. You've written 19 books. What was your first book that you wrote?
A personal mission statement, your roadmap to happiness. I read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, and he advocated for starting with the end in mind and writing your own personal mission statement. But I actually found his advice like tricky to implement, and that was the feedback I got from my readers, that okay, I approached it a few times, but it was so like vague. I didn't know really how to start, how to continue. And with your book, it was simple, straightforward, step by step. So that was my objective when I was writing this book. So people can start with no idea about the end in their minds and finish with a written down personal mission statement.
Oh, that's excellent advice. Thank you for sharing that. And then your other book you wrote, The Fitness Expert Next Door.
So that's actually a book about my weight loss story. Plus, like, I think I instance only one research there, which is the research about, the golden rule about weight loss. Eat less, move more, because they examined different types of diets and exercises and programs and so on. And in the end, they found that those 2 simple rules implemented, individually without any support, have even better performance than any other things.
Yeah, I advocate what I call the 9 golden rules of weight loss for people who love to eat. They're very simple, and people look at them, they're always saying, oh, I know that. And my response is, okay, you know that. Are you doing it? And most of the time they're saying no. And then the next question is, why not? And that's where I get into with clients, is delving into, why are you not eating the way you are supposed to eat? Why are you not drinking more water? Why are you drinking the soda or diet soda or fruit juices? So I understand where you're coming from with that. What would you say, now you've helped, according to your book, it was 1,539 other, as you refer to them, common folks to help reduce weight and get healthier. How did that come about?
And that was this research. Exactly. The sample was 1,569 people, and they got the results just by cutting calories and then moving more. And moving more is not going to the gym for 1 hour every day, but just going for the walk if you haven't been going for a walk before. Yeah, so just increase your mobility, decrease your calories, and you will lose weight. It's as simple as that. Unless, of course, there are very, very special unicorn factors in play.
Well, exactly. Usually I ask people, with women especially, about their hormones and their thyroid, to get that checked by a medical professional. And then walking is very important. Like you said, it doesn't have to be exercise at the gym. It can be as simple as walking. Rebel Wilson, the actress, she lost 77 pounds in a year simply by walking an hour each day. And then Mindy Callis, she lost weight, and she was walking. And what she did, instead of when she got a 10-minute break, instead of being on social media or texting her friends, she would go for a walk. So 4 or 5 times a day, it'd be 40 or 50 minutes, just broken up into segments. So that's what I advocate for people, is instead of worrying about walking an hour, if you can walk 10 or 15 minutes a few times a day, you'll accomplish what you need. And if you're not able to walk an hour all at one time because of family obligations or work responsibilities, break it up into little segments. As you mentioned, you were running the stairs, to work and other places. So people can do various things to increase their physical activity. When you're talking about calories, as you and I both know, not all calories are created equal. So people need to be careful about the types of calories they consume, correct?
Well, yes, one of the principles I adopted when losing my weight. And then losing weight is easy. Seriously, you just stop eating for a month and you are very thin. But maintaining your weight, that's the tricky part. So I adopted the rule to eat non-processed foods as much as possible because they are so much more nourishing, and that's one thing. And healthier, simple as that. I can tell the difference because just by eating better, moving more, sleeping more, I'm allergic to about everything, but my allergy symptoms subdued just by changing my lifestyle. I was really conquered by allergy a few times a year, and now I can feel it in my eyes, maybe in my nose a few times a year, but that's it. And it was just what I consumed, because in the processed foods there are so many chemicals and things that just doesn't belong to the human body. So why consume them? Just ditch it. It's so much easier. This one rule it makes my life so much easier. I have another habit which is very simple. When I'm doing grocery shopping and I don't know the product, I'm looking at the label, and if they are more than 5 ingredients, I just put it away. And if there are any that I don't understand what it is, I put it away.
That's excellent advice. Most people who look at the nutritional fact panel or nutritional fact label look at the wrong information. Most of the time they're looking at the calories, the protein, the sodium, the sugar, the fat content. And as you mentioned, very few people will actually read what's in the ingredients. It's very small, fine print at the bottom. And you're right. If you would read the ingredients, and most people who don't, if they did it, they probably, if they don't understand what they're putting into their mouth, they probably wouldn't want to, especially if they knew what they were ingesting. So that is great advice also. What's a great way for the audience to reach out to you and connect with you?
Find me is very easy. It's great to be a Polish guy in the English speaking space. You just type my name and then books or blog or whatever, and it will be in the top of the research. And then you can find contact information. So I'm on Amazon. I have my blog expandbeyondyourself.com. I have plenty of answers on Quora.com. I have few hundred articles on Medium. Yeah, it's easy to find me.
That's terrific. With the research on the 1,500 and plus individuals, what else did you find out when you were doing that research?
Well, it wasn't my research. That was very, what's the English word for that? Very esteemed body which did the research, yeah. And what they found that, you try this diet or that diet, and there is not much difference. But if you cut calories and move more and stick to those two rules, they are so simple, so straightforward. If you stick to them, they are working. In the end, human body is not a rocket science. You eat less, you weight less, and so on. So there was plenty of other factors mixed. Yeah. So of course, because if you join Watchers and you have daily accountability, then your results will be faster, better, and so on. But those are additional factors. like the type of workouts you do or the diet you are having is really not that important than the fact that you are doing anything, period. So that's why, and they really like took this audience. It wasn't done on college students like the most research are done. People who were trying to lose weight, and those who succeeded stick to those two rules.
Yeah, with calories, as I mentioned, a lot of people don't understand not all calories are created equal. For example, if you eat an apple, it's about 90 to 100 calories. However, it takes your body 25 calories to digest and process it. If you eat a Hershey bar, it's about 100 to 125 calories, and it takes 0 calories and has no nutritional value for your body. So I always tell people to be careful of what you're putting in your body. But then again, an apple is raw and natural.
It's an apple, yeah, one ingredient.
Right, where a Hershey bar is many ingredients and mostly sugar. So we all know that sugar is detrimental to our body, not healthy for us. What else can you tell us about some of the other habits that you found helpful?
I like the weight loss journey, then maintaining my weight. It's just a small part of my life. But as an author, I have a productivity book. And now I'm working with solopreneurs, being a business coach. I'm amazed how many people are asking, okay, for the silver bullet for productivity or to feel good and so on, and they are neglecting the basis, like sleep enough, drink enough water, eat non-processed foods, move your body. I saw somewhere lately that 10,000 steps is a myth, but you are getting the benefits starting from 7,000. Like if you regularly do 7,000 steps a day, that's where it really kicks in.
Yeah.
Higher levels, well, your body is really accommodating to that. So there is not much gain. So those 4 areas, and they are neglected all the time. Like, how many people do you know who are sleeping good, drinking a lot of water, eating non-processed foods, and moving around? Like, you can count them on one hand with your fingers. So people are hunting for the super extra silver bullets, but they are neglecting the basis all the freaking time.
And you just mentioned 4 out of the 9 golden rules that I advocate. And actually, you mentioned a couple others. Avoiding processed food is one of them, and eating whole or real foods is another one. So that's 6 out of the 9 right there you just mentioned. And as you said, they're very simple basics that many people know what to do. They're just not doing it. And especially with entrepreneurs, there's a saying that I learned from Paul Bragg and Patricia Bragg, and that is, when we're younger, a lot of us will spend our health chasing wealth because we're not taking care of ourselves. And then as we get older, then we start spending our wealth chasing health because we have let our bodies go. And as you mentioned, our bodies are incredible machines. And a lot of times people just don't put in the right fuel. And that's what I tell people is a lot of times they take better care of their automobiles than they do themselves. And so it's very important what type of fuel we put into our bodies because they are incredible machines. One thing that I learned in doing research for my books was that the average person will attempt over 126 different diets during their lifetime. So the diet and weight loss industry has the philosophy of diet until you die attitude. And I agree with you. It's not so much diet, it's lifestyle. And that's where I tell people, if you want to lose weight, never go on a diet. Instead, change your diet. And that seems to be exactly what you did, is to change your diet and become more physically active and just doing little things.
Maybe not just, but it's a very good start because if you start, this is the New Year resolution fallacy. Okay, I will go to the gym for hours, and then you are not able to do this, and then you are discouraged and you quit. So you cannot do it. But if you start small, it's the totally opposite dynamic. Okay, I'm doing something. I'm getting the chain. Okay, building it. I'm active. I'm succeeding. Like, okay, maybe I will add another exercise, and maybe I will introduce another healthy habit into my life. By the way, it was in the power of habits. When there was, instance, a research, scientists wanted to determine how people are changing their lives. And of course, when they approached the research, they thought about, these life-changing events, changing social status, getting married or losing someone or getting morbidly sick, and so on and so on. But they discovered small daily habits were behind the effective changes. And they also discovered keystone habits. So you are starting one habit and then another and another, like a domino, and it's effortless.
Charles.
And those two habits were move more and healthy eating, they called it. But it was, focusing on your body. Everything starts from your body, and then you can change your life.
Exactly. Charles Duhigg wrote the book, The Power Habit. And he talks about a keystone habit. And for the audience who may not understand, a keystone habit is one habit that will have a ripple effect and affect other habits so that you develop. And as you mentioned, it's consistency and doing it for a long period of time. You also mentioned New Year's resolutions. I know that a lot of people will make those New Year's resolutions to be healthier, go to the gym and exercise more. And what happens after 3 weeks, they're not seeing results because the scale hasn't moved and they're getting frustrated. And as you said, they quit. And what I've taught my clients is don't go by the scale, because what's happening is when you're exercising more, you're converting the fat into muscle, and muscle and fat weigh the exact same amount. 5 pounds is 5 pounds. However, muscle takes up less room than fat. So I had a client that was happening to after 3 weeks. He was getting discouraged. And I asked him, I said, are you exercising more? And he said, yeah, I'm walking 5 miles a day, riding my bike. I said, how do your clothes feel? And he looked at me basically told me, he says, well, they're loose and people are asking me if I'm losing weight. However, the scale's not showing it. I said, don't go by the scale. Go by how your clothes fit, because that'll tell you. The other thing is, here in the United States, they have the national brands that advertise lose 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds guaranteed your first month. Well, you'll lose the weight. The problem is you won't keep it off, nor is it healthy for you to lose that much at one time. So people need to learn to be patient. What I usually tell people is, would you like to weigh 24 to 48 pounds lighter by this time next year? And most people would need to lose weight will say, yeah, that sounds great. Okay, can you lose 2 or 4 pounds a month? Not a week, a month. And most people say, yeah, I could do that. That's simple. Okay, well, if you do it on average, because some months you'll lose more, some you won't lose any. For 12 consecutive months, that's 24 to 48 pounds. And as you mentioned, people get frustrated because they don't see immediate results. So as you said, the key is consistency over a long period of time. It's the small little things that we do that'll give us the dramatic results eventually. And that's where people need to learn to be patient.
Yeah, and people need to learn the philosophy. Like Jim Rohn said, take care of your body. This is the only place you have to live. And that's so damn true. Like, and especially for solopreneurs, when I'm just getting excited when I talk about this, because they are so hopeless with that. Like, the whole business depends on them when you talk about solopreneurs. And they don't take care about their bodies. Come on, that's being crazy right there.
Well, exactly. And as you know, when you take care of your body, you have more energy, you have better mental clarity, you feel better, you look better, and you have improved overall health. So there's a lot of benefits to taking care of your body that will help your business.
Amen. And especially if you are a solopreneur, then come on, like, you are your business. So of course take care of you. Come on.
Yeah, I also tell people, if you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for your spouse, your kids, your employees. If you have employees, what would happen to them if something detrimental happened to you because of your health? I know a lot of people here in the United States are at risk for type 2 diabetes. They're at risk for heart attacks and stroke. I was reading an article that 90% of most deaths are now cardiovascular or heart related. And I thought, that's wrong. It's not because of that. They don't go to the underlying issue. What is causing the heart and cardiovascular issues? It's our eating habits and food and what we put in our mouth. So if they go to the underlying issue, they'll actually determine that it's food related.
Yeah, that's so true.
So Jim Rome you mentioned, and Stephen Covey you mentioned. Who else has influenced your life? Or what other books have you read that have influenced you?
The whole stack of them. I have like hundreds all over me in this home office. I love to read, and there is always something interesting in every single book. I'm thinking about something significant, especially related to physicality.
Well, it doesn't have to be about physicality.
Yeah.
One of my favorite.
I'm just thinking, and because I'm a self-published author, I would like to encourage your readers to really dive into self-publishing books. I read at least few, if not several, just weight loss stories, individual ones, and you read them and you see those common factors like non-processed foods, like hydration, like exercises in each and every single one of them. So, and of course, something will work for me better than for you. We are different people, different ages, sexes, and so on. But you can find those common threads, and also, like now, after the self-publishing revolution, free books out there, and a lot of them, like my weight loss stories, permanently free. So you just pay with your time, and they are not huge as well. Like my book is very thin, and the others I read also weren't huge volumes. So just to get this encouragement, not from the research about 1,500 people, but story by story. We are driven by stories, and it's totally possible to get better with your health. Our bodies have this amazing regenerative qualities. If you take care of your body, it will feel better much faster than you think. You just need to be consistent with that.
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes is by Heather Morgan. And she said, every time you eat or drink, you're either feeding disease or fighting it.
Amen. Good,
that's
good one.
And then three of my favorite books. The first one is The Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews. It was life-changing for me. Very quick, easy read, as you mentioned, very short. It's about 200 pages. However, it's double-spaced. And I read it in about 3 hours. It's one of those I just could not put down. Another book I just learned about and read was called Ikigai. It's Igikai. It's a Japanese word, and it means life purpose. And what I found fascinating, in Japan, there's no word for retirement. So people live a lot longer because they're always physically and mentally active. And they don't look at stop working. They just look at, working differently. So they don't even have that word retirement. And then another favorite book is The Blue Zones by Dan Buettner, who found 5 different areas around the world where people have not only longevity, 100 years plus, but good health at the same time. So I'm like you, I have hundreds and hundreds of books, and I read them, and I'm always wanting to learn more and more. And as you mentioned, stories are very interesting and fascinating to me. Well, our time is up. I appreciate your being a guest again, Michal. Did I pronounce it right?
American, excellent.
Okay. And then our audience can find you by just look at your name on Google or Amazon, and they're easy to find. Your contact information and the spelling your name will be on the podcast notes, and it's on the interview also. So I appreciate your being here so much and taking the time to join us and share your wisdom and knowledge with the audience.
You're most welcome, David. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate that.
Thanks for listening to the Stop Dieting podcast. Remember to like and subscribe so you won't miss a single episode to get more healthy eating and lifestyle tips. Motivate and inspire others to be healthy by sharing with your friends.